The secret to gaining the highest ROI in HEX lies in a little-known mechanism called shares. When you stake your HEX, you receive shares. It's kind of like a guarantee. Your shares guarantee you back your principal, plus a percentage of interest and bonuses over time. The key to achieving the highest ROI in HEX is acquiring as many shares as you possibly can by staking early and staking long. The earlier you stake and the longer you stake, the higher your ROI will be. The brilliance of the share design is this. Every time a stake is ended anywhere in the world, those shares are effectively burned. They cease to exist. This means that every single day there are less and less shares to be had. This also means that every moment you wait to get in stake HEX, the share pool is dwindling. Now, why does that matter? HEX is programmed to pay out the highest interest and rewards to those who own the most shares. That's why it matters. Staking early is key, but it's not everything. How do you get the most shares? You stake longer than everyone else. The maximum length you can stake is 5,555 days, or 15.2 years. If you want to get into HEX early and become a whale, how do you do it? You stake today, right now, this very moment, and you stake for 5,555 days. As everyone else's stakes expire, you end up holding the largest bag of shares in the network. This guarantees you receive the largest percentage of interest and bonuses.
Day, how does HEX pay out interest every day? Okay, so this is how. The system annually produces 3.69% inflation annually. This is why the 3.69% number is so important. So every day it pays a little piece of that inflation to the stakers. But
it accrues.
And it accrues over time, of course. But the thing about it is that it doesn't actually hit the market until that respective stake ends. See, so that inflation is actually spread out across time.
It's deferred.
It's deferred across time, but the interesting thing is that you don't know when it's deferred to.
Exactly.
So every day you got little bits of inflation that are scattered across 15 years. From that point in time. So this is forever designed to perpetually go up because of that, because this inflation is scattered across time.
Exactly.
Like, that's very important.
Future supply. You see? And the average person that takes 5 minutes to read the fucking thing and watch the video and know what a T-share is and how it's done and how it burns the coin and when they come out would know that. But somebody that doesn't do that only hear the superficial stuff, hear 3.69, he thinks it's just like the other shitcoin that don't have real locking, fake locking, that the money just comes in every day and then they can just take it and sell it. That's why they don't understand why the price is going up. They don't understand that HEX is no joke. When you stake, you stake. You can't just exit or you're going to get wrecked or you're going to pay penalties. And then you have to do your time and then it mints the coin back, which means during that time frame, it's out of circulation, which is added to a pumpamental by virtually burning the coin. That's also why they couldn't figure out a market cap, because they didn't understand how dynamic HEX is. Market cap of HEX could change by 50% overnight and just move because it's so dynamic.
Of course, the trader comes along and just looks at the chart because just another crypto, just another chart, right? Exactly. And they don't see any of that deferred inflation out in the future because it isn't on the chart.
Because they do fucking superficial review too. They just look at it and then they review something for 5 minutes and then they think they're going to do the same thing with HEX. No, I'm sorry. HEX is not a 5-minute review. You got to go.
They cannot make the right decisions because, well, really, it's the first crypto, the only crypto whale said, that actually truly has fundamentals, solid fundamentals.
Value proposition.
And therefore, it's the first crypto that if you want to trade it successfully, traders get wrecked, don't do it, but you better know the fundamentals, like in the real world, right?
That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, the percentage gain that you get from the inflation, so your portion of the thing, has a lot less to do with how much the T-shares cost on the day you went in as it does to do with the ratio of HEX that is staked across the entire pool. Now, the
Yes.
people that got in before you are going to be gaining more faster in time terms, so they will get the higher profits sooner than you because they got in sooner than you, and it is a compounding system. But from the day you start, you are not necessarily disadvantaged at all. And in fact, the total pool of T-shares should decrease over time because they're getting so expensive to buy.
Yes.
And when the old stakes end and all those T-shares go away, they can't be replaced again because T-shares are so much more expensive now. So it's built in that you don't have to worry too much about, that's where I have a little bit. I mean, HEX per T-share payout is an excellent metric, and HEX is complex and we need good metrics, and so I'm all for it. But it is a little bit more complicated than that in terms of whether it goes up or whether it goes down is not the right question, because really all that really matters at the end of the day is how much of the total supply of HEX is staked and what is the size of the T-share pool. Those are the keys, and that's what sets the payout per T-share. It gives us a metric, gives us a number we can look at, and that's great. And the T-share price, of course, because of the bonding of the price and all that. But for people that start looking into it, if you're worried that, oh, well, there's just going to be more and more and more and more T-shares, and they're just getting more and more and more expensive, and I only get a payout based on my portion of T-shares, well, that sucks. No. Richard thought of that. The expensive T-shares cannot replace the T-shares from the old stakes that were cheap that expires. So over time, once the tail catches up with the head, as time moves forward in terms of the average stake length, the old T-shares dropping off, the total number of shares, even if the market's growing and a lot of people are coming on board, it should actually decrease over time.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So you still get a lot more out of it from getting in earlier, but you're not missing out anything. Once we've been if the average stake length is 5.8 years now, so once we've been going 5.8 years, if everything else stays the same, which of course it won't, then the tail's caught up with the head, as it were. So then all the old shares start to fall off, and so you're not becoming a smaller and smaller and smaller part of the pool share anymore, because the pool share is rapidly depleting, probably slightly faster than people can rebuy it.
Yes.
And the payout per T-share will tell us, where that's all balanced out, and it's great. But my point is that don't be concerned about it, and it favors people that stake long. Of course, if you stake short, then you don't get those benefits as they start to fall off as much.
Like one of my understandings, trying to conceptualize in a world where I value my wealth in HEX and I value my wealth in T-shares, is that I want to be greater than an average length staker for the next 15 years into the future. And so one of the ways that I can do that is by doing max length stakes, and then I'm ensuring, right, that
I want to double
max length. Max length stakes is the optimum gameplay, period.
Yeah.
No matter how much you understand of it and all the advanced strategies you might want to, at the end of the day, that is the optimum strategy. End of story.
I want to be double the average length. You know why, Maddie? Not only I want to fight against inflation, but I want to be paid the inflation. I want to double from the inside. So when the total T-share pool is going to go more deflationary, like it's starting to do right now, we're still below 11 million. It's moving fast because, again, as the price goes higher and higher, it's going to accelerate the deflationary event even faster. That's what T-share acceleration is. Don't just rely on share rate. Share rate is up 82+%, which is good, but the price is pumping even faster. So T-shares are getting out of reach very, very fast. And then you combine that plus the people that emergency end stake stupidly when the price pumps a lot, those T-shares are not coming back. And those people are paying heavy penalty, which means they won't be able to recreate their old T-share. So a lot of it is falling off left and right and this and that. And then what ends up happening, it accelerates the deflationary event, and then the payout per T-share is going to start to rise. And if the deflationary event is greater than the onboarding effort, which could happen, this is how we're going to get there faster. Right now, it's been slowed down because we're onboarding at a fast pace too. We almost keeping up with the compounding effect. But it's going to get to a point where we just won't be able to, because the economic mass you're going to need. If a t-shirt start to cost $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8,000, how many on board do you know that you can come in and buy a $8,000 t-shirt? Not that many. So
and when the tail catches up with the head, it's game over. There's no way in hell you're
this
ever
is the
going to
reason why it's taking long. Is so key when you understand that something started at 60 cents and then today went above 2,100 and past Ethereum. That's what you need to understand, why it's going on, so you don't get left behind.